Generally, there is a notion that if you want to start up something, you should be rich. Are you from a rich family, or Mr. Balaji Sadagopan is from a rich family?
But very late in life, around when I was 34, 35, I suddenly thought I should write it. But by that time, the age limit was already gone long time back. Riding from bikes to car, all of that, there is a subtle change in the entire lifestyle. When everything was going well, both at work and with family and all of that, when we went and told our fathers that we wanted to quit and start business, so I want to do something between Madras Coffee House and Cafe Coffee Day. That is how we started. He was completely against it. He said, don't do any of this, go back to your work. He was literally pushing us to go back to work.
You would have got a lot of customers. How was the feel, the first, your outlet, your own customers, your own brand?
We were not considered a restaurant by the police and the corporation. They were like, tea kada dane, close it. Meaning,
Hi everyone, welcome to podcast series. Today we have an interesting guest, one entrepreneur. Many of us at some point of time in our life, that entrepreneur itch will be there. But we have a successful entrepreneur. In fact, he has an impact on each one of us, especially if you're in Chennai, definitely you would have visited his premises. If you're in Hyderabad, Coimbatore, yes, chances are high. And very soon he is going to enter Delhi, Bombay, Calcutta, and many more places. Yes, we have with us Mr. Sadique, who's the founder of Chai Kings. Sir, welcome.
hello, sir. Thank you, sir.
It's
Very
a
happy to be here.
pleasure to have you here. I know you're a busy person. Even today, you have some lot of appointments. I know. Despite that, you're coming here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Very happy to be here. Thank you.
In fact, my first question is not at all related to Chai Kings. Have you ever thought of writing civil service exam?
Not really, sir. It was my father's wish. Meaning he wanted me to do it when I was in school and college. I did engineering, but he wanted me to write the civil service and become an IPS. He always thought that that one post has a lot of respect if done really well. He pushed me to it, but I did not have any interest towards that. But very late in life, around when I was 34, 35, I suddenly thought I should write it. But by that time, the age limit was already gone long time back. Yeah. That was my only um, time that I wanted to do civil services.
Good. That is at least someone aspirant, at least by mine. We are now today, we are interviewing. Okay, sir. Now, Chai Kings, entrepreneur. Have you done some MBA, something?
No, sir, not really. Again, it was my father's wish that I do an MBA after engineering, but there was a lot of thing happening in the family, so I wanted to get out and start working right away after college. So I started working, but I worked in a lot of companies. I worked in multiple companies in the early start of life. I worked in a very small hardware shop. I in a company where I used to write articles for them, meaning I'll have to translate and write articles. I did that for some time. Then I worked in two big companies almost for about 12, 14 years. I think that was one comprehensive MBA which prepared us for this journey. Yeah.
So it's a myth that one has to start something, one has to do MBA. No, not at all.
Definitely not really. MBA is not one mandatory criteria to become an entrepreneur. Definitely not. But that will also help. Meaning, if you are from a different background and you do MBA from a very good college, and you also have the IQ level or the capability to come out and start an entrepreneur journey right away after college, yes, but not really. It doesn't work for everybody. That's what I think.
When you decided to be an entrepreneur, sir?
Me becoming an entrepreneur was an accident. To give you a background, I finished college in about '99, and I worked in like I said, I worked in multiple companies, and I worked in a company called Sutherland for about 9-10 years, from 2001 to 2009 or 10. There I met Balaji, right, my co-founder now. He was working in my team for a long time. Between 2001, he joined in my team, and we were in a boss and subordinate relationship for a long time. About 2004, 2005, we became very good friends. From there on, Balaji started talking to me about entrepreneurship, and he wanted us to come out and start something of our own. I was very hesitant to do that. I am someone who doesn't like change at all, right? I am someone who's very, I can't say I'm methodological, but I am very aversive to changes. I want everything to happen as it is, no changes. The salary message on the first is what I want. I don't want any surprises at all, right? But Balaji is from a different background. He's got a lot of friends and family, friends, fathers who are in business, and he's seen the other side of the life, right? What kind of life they have, what is the financial impact on the entire family if you are in business and if the business does well. So he was always pushing me towards that. Somehow, around 2010, 11, I gave in to that and I said, Balaji, okay, let's start. Right? But I also had in my mind that it might not work out. So I told him that we'll take a very cautious step of getting into business. We'll do it. So, but he agreed and we started. Otherwise, I wouldn't have come. If not for Balaji, I wouldn't have come at all.
So Mr. Balaji Sadagopan was there. You were the boss or he was the boss when you were together? Initial
I
years.
was the boss initially. I joined earlier in the company. So we joined the company, like I said, Sutherland was very new to Chennai. It was a 1 year old company when I joined, and we all had amazing growth in the company. I joined as an executive and I quit the company as a senior director in about 9 years. Balaji also joined as a senior executive, and when he quit, he was about a senior program manager in the company. So since I joined first, I was kind of the boss for Balaji.
Generally, there is a notion that if you want to start up something, you should be rich. Are you from a rich family or Mr. Balaji Sadagopan is from a rich family?
Not really. Both our fathers are bankers. Our profiles are very, very similar. Both our fathers are bankers. We both did engineering. We both did electronics and communication engineering. Uh, both of our marriages are alumnus. He met his wife in Sutherland. I met my wife in Sutherland. So very similar profiles. Very middle class family is what I would say. Balaji's father was a manager, but my father was a clerk in the bank. But we had a very similar middle class background all the while when we were growing up.
So, what was your first? Was it Chai Kings which you started first as an entrepreneur? What was your first one?
Okay. When I was working in Sutherland, I was trying a couple of things with a friend. For a friend, um, I would do accounting for a lot of trading that my friend was wanted to do. So I learned a little bit of business there. So that is when Balaji push me to get into business, I said, let's do it. But since we are not from a family business family and we don't know anything about business, let's start a franchise. Let's take a franchise of one of the leading brands and do it. He also agreed to it. So we went and started approaching a lot of brands that were franchising outlets. We went to Green Trend's office and told them that we are from a IT background and we wanted to start something. And I don't know what they saw in us. They were like, they caught hold of us and they sold us the Perambur Green Trends franchise. That was our first business from for the, I think 2012 April we started that.
So, where the money came from some loan or where the capital?
Okay, so the first business, I think I had some savings. At the time Balaji also had some savings, and we also took loans from there on. From there on, see, once we got into this Green Trends Perambur franchisee, I think about in 2-3 months time, we figured out it's the easiest thing to do. Right, everything is set by the franchise. The Green Trends have already got the entire menu done, the services done, the training part done, new product launches done. We just have to manage the salon, take care of the customers that are walking in, and take care of the employees that are working for us. It was very easy for us. Me and Balaji both were managing about 1,000 people in our earlier work. So managing about 10, 12 people was very, very easy for us. It came naturally for us as well. So we did really well. So we figured out one outlet will not meaning we'll not be able to take out even our half of our salaries from one outlet. So we decided that we'll have to do multiple outlets. And like I said, we didn't have any capital to start that. We were in for a series of business loan. We mortgaged our houses and all of that. But it all turned out really well. We earned really well from those ventures. Yeah.
See, when we go to bank for a loan, usually the bankers are very pessimistic. So bankers means they'll be pessimistic. And especially as a son, because your father was a banker. How was his feel? Because you studied engineering. So what was his thought?
Fathers were like, see, like I said, me and Balaji were from a middle class background. We were not having very posh lifestyles. We were normal families. But once we started working, once in about 10 years into work, we were running really well. They could see the change in our lifestyles, riding from bikes to car. All of that, there is a subtle change in the entire lifestyle. When everything was going well, both at work and with family and all of that, when we went and told our fathers that we wanted to quit and start business, they were like, only now you guys are doing well and you want to come out of that and start your own business. They were not very happy with the decision, but they also know us. They have seen us, right? They've seen us, um, what kind of people we are. We are not. They had confidence in our abilities and all of that. So they half-heartedly they said okay, and then we told them that we wanted to quit the work and start a salon. Right? They were not very happy with the choice. I don't know. They might have been happy if we said that we were starting an IT company or something. But when we said salon, they thought it is not a very good thing according to them. So, but somehow we told them, meaning it is not about the business, it's about what we do and all of that. Somehow they agreed to it, and we started. That was when we approached for green. See, the most difficult thing happened was convincing the landlords, right? Family was easy, meaning we just have to tell them, and they also didn't have any choice. They said okay, but the landlords were very very difficult. The first landlord that we met for our Parambur green trend, he patiently listened to us for about 20-25 minutes. We told him the complete background of what he was a builder. We told him the complete background of what we do, where we are, what we are earning, and all of that. He was completely against it. He said, "Don't do any of this. Go back to your work." He was literally pushing us to go back to work. Then we told him, "Our father is a banker. Family is stable. I'm only quitting. Balaji is not quitting." Then he was like, half-heartedly he gave. He said, I don't." He didn't want us to suffer by getting into business. He was one good landlord. We still have in touch. Any landlord reference now, any new landlord reference we require, we only give his number. He knows our entire history. He's seen us going in bikes, and now he knows how we are, right? So we give his number for reference to any landlord that we come across now. Family was easy, difficult, but it was okay to manage.
So you were running franchises. It was successful also, you're telling. Then why you wanted to start something on your own?
Okay. So we were not having one single franchise, right? We were having multiple franchises. We started with Green Trends. It's a salon. We had 4 Green Trends at one point. Balaji's friend was managing another company, so we took one salon franchisee from that Tony and Guy brand as well. We had a Subway restaurant. We had a pizza restaurant, Cheesiano Pizza
For
from.
everything you used to borrow and
We all of it is a franchisee outlet. We had a small kulfi outlet. We were doing multiple things. So all of this was running. There is a program in Subway where they will train all the Subway franchisees, and we have to clear that exam. Only then we can continue to run the Subway outlets. So we dodged it for some time, but somewhere around 2015, they said you have to finish it off now, otherwise we'll pull out your franchisee. So we had to go to Delhi to complete that training. It was a 2 week long training, Monday to Saturday, 2 weeks, 14 days, 12 days, complete exhaustive training. They'll teach you right from how you mop the floor till about how you do a new product launch, new outlet launch, everything end to end. We did really well. 2 weeks, it's a very good break for us. We were in Delhi for 2 weeks. It's like a classroom training, partly practical, partly theoretical. We did really well in the training. We learned a lot as well. For a Subway franchisee, you don't have to teach them how to do a new product launch, right? Or how to select a new outlet. But Subway does complete full training. So once we learned it, when we were coming back, Subway's idea to give this training was to encourage the franchisee to take one more outlet, right? That was the idea behind it, to equip you to run this outlet well, and also to encourage you to take another outlet. While we were coming back, we were sitting in the flight. Balaji was saying, "Why are we working for somebody else?" Right? Meaning, it's like we are building Green, we're building Subway. Why are we doing that? Why can't we build a brand? I was like, he's starting again, right? I was like, "Siri, okay, we'll go back and think." So, but it made sense. Why? Meaning the kind of effort and work we put into somebody else's brand, why can't we create a brand? But we didn't have any experience, right? But we have the knowledge of how the brands run and all of that. We've seen it for about 3-4 years. So we came back and thought, okay, let's start a brand, and that's how we got into it. The first idea was not Chai Kings, to be frank. We started off with similar to Subway. We wanted to start a kebab restaurant where it's like you come and order, you take the kebabs, non-veg kind of a thing. But somehow we felt it will not be a mass thing. It will be a very niche product like a Subway. We wanted to do a very mass Sarana stores kind of a concept, right? Mass gathering, and that's what we liked. Then we dropped it and we wanted to do a coffee outlet. I am a big fan of Madras Coffee House. So I want to do something between Madras Coffee House and Cafe Coffee Day. That is how we started. I thought there are a lot of good things in Madras Coffee House, and I also thought there is something lacking there. We thought we'll do something in between. We formed a small team. Me, Balaji, another friend, and a couple of friends from the marketing sector. We formed a small team. We started working on it. We designed the name. We designed part of the logos. We were looking at the menus, what to do, and all of that. This entire team will assemble at about 9-10 o'clock in our Medavakam office. We will be there about 11:30. Everybody will come down. Some of them will smoke, and everybody will have a tea. And then we'll go back, lunch, sit for some time, come down again about 3:30. Some of them smoke, and again a tea. Again 5:30, the same pattern. 2-3 days down the line, I was saying, we are all working on coffee, and nobody is having coffee, and everybody is having tea. And that discussion led to the thought of, why not start something on tea, and why should we do on coffee? Then we started researching on what is happening everywhere. We saw a lot of similar outlets up north. Chennai, it was not there, but a lot of outlets, similar outlets up north. Companies like Chai Point, Chayos, they were all open from 2010. There's something called Philly in Dubai. So a lot of that was there. So that gave us the confidence that this model will work, but it has to be customized for Chennai, right? We know Chennai, what Chennai likes. 50-60 rupee tea will not work. We were drinking for 8 rupees back then. The roadside tea stalls were selling for 8 rupees. So we wanted to bring a model which will suit Chennai, but we wanted to do for chai. So that's how ended up in chai.
So, Chai Kings, first of all, the name is, yes, chai is not a Tamil word, and you are starting in Chennai. Was it consciously you did so that you can expand pan India?
And okay, you've given the answer there. It's like we wanted to keep a name. Say our concept is the name should reflect the brand, right? We cannot keep a fancy name and then go and explain people what the brand is about. We are very clear that the name should reflect the product, right? So me and Balaji were split on the name that we should choose. Balaji, even my father, to an extent, they were all saying that people wouldn't understand what chai is, right? And even now, most of them would call it chaya, right? Meaning chai was kind of a Hindi word, and people wouldn't understand back then. Now, at least people know a lot of it. But 2016, when we started working in 2015, everybody was against the idea of using the word chai. But somehow we thought chai is slightly posh, but also conveys the meaning. Plus, it helps if you go up pan India, right? Meaning beyond Chennai, everybody speaks Hindi. So we thought it will work well. So I had to convince a lot, including Balaji, we had to convince. So the chai was kind of there. We found more difficulty in fixing the second part of the name. Um, Nothing was making sense. there were a company called, like I said, Chai Tela, Chai Point, all of that was there. Everything else was not somehow making sense or not very sounding well for us. Chai World, uh, Chai Spot, a lot of it we tried, nothing worked. I still have a picture where we wrote on the board one chai on one side and about 10, 15 names on the right side, and we've crossed out everything. Nothing, it was not sounding well. That was the time Chennai Super Kings was doing really well in Chennai. Being big CSK fans, we thought, why not do Chai Kings? That's how Chai Kings came into picture.
Now, usually a tea shop, if you observe, non-smokers, they drink maybe 2 teas, 3 teas, maybe in a day. This is just my observation. Whereas a smoker, if you see, whole day he will be taking at least 10, 12 teas. Now your name is Chai Kings, but there is no means the Kings component is not going to be there in your outlet, and the most important chai drinker is the smoker. So how you are suddenly bringing a brand without, because normally who goes to tea shop repeatedly? Smokers. In Chai Kings, yes, the ambience, you cannot smoke inside. So how you are bringing a product, something, leaving the main customers?
Okay, there are two parts to it. I'll tell you a story behind the name. So when we decided the name, we kind of fixed it. We were looking for outlets. The first outlet, we saw a property in Kilpok. That is right outside the Abu Palace. We went and met the landlord. Same questions like, why do you want to start a tea stall? We were having nice posh cars. We were going in the car and telling him we want to open a tea stall. He was like, he was thinking that these guys are not very serious. They might run off in 6 months' time. We had to give him the confidence. So finally, we convinced him. We fixed everything and the rental, advance, and all of that. The last question he asked was, what is the brand name? We told him Chai Kings. He was like, will you sell tea? Meaning, will you sell cigarettes? He said, no, no, but you've kept Chai Kings, Kings cigarette, right? I said, no, we don't sell, we will not sell cigarette. He didn't believe us. He made that point in the agreement itself that we should not sell cigarettes in Chai King. That is the only agreement that we have which has this clause. That was the story behind it. But even when we started, see, like you said, smokers are the major chunk of the tea drinker community, right? But there is also another part of customers who want such a outlet to come and have their day. That those are women, children. That community, that section is completely ignored. They cannot go into a. They mostly will not go into a tea stall and have a tea, partly because of the hygiene and mostly because of the ambience as well. There will always be a lot of boys there smoking and all of that. Women are never comfortable going into. So we thought we should have an outlet which is meaning when you give the right ambience, more than the smokers, you can bring in a lot of women and children and all of that. So we were very clear that we will not have a smoking zone, even a smoking zone inside or near the outlet. From day one, it was our idea, but it was very difficult in the initial stages. Everybody would come on and like call it a tea shop, and you're not allowing me to smoke, right? That's a kind of uh, um, questions will come from the customers, but very soon they all figured out that this is a no smoking zone and they stopped. Now there are a few customers, they'll pick up the tea and then go to the opposite side of the road and drink and have their smokes. Plus it is also public smoking is kind of banned, which is also helping us at this point. Yeah.
Now, chai, usually the tea which I am drinking, since there is only one type of tea. Tea means tea, that milk, a typical tea shop, from a typical tea shop. Whereas you are now providing lot of tea varieties, which we didn't know there are such teas. What are the varieties and how you chose all these things?
See, another success for us was the kind of varieties that we give. Earlier, we can have only one kind of tea in a tea shop, right? Some of them would be of good quality, some of them would be bad, but you cannot get a variety at all. Very rarely, some would give a special tea, which is kind of ginger or sukku or something like that, right? So we wanted to give variety at the same time, not confuse the customer with so many varieties. That was our idea as well. Plus, you expand the menu, it makes it very difficult for the customers to choose as well. Plus, the kitchen also becomes very messy. The guys get very uncomfortable preparing a lot of varieties as well. So we want to keep it simple for everybody, but also give variety, right? So we thought I only drink milk tea. I don't drink black tea at all, and I don't go near the herbal teas at all. But we figured out there are customers who drink a lot of green tea, and there are people who don't like milk at all. They drink black teas, right? So we want to keep three categories: milk teas, black tea, and herbal teas. In milk tea, since we are milk tea drinkers, we easily figured out we'll have one Hyderabadi variety of dum tea and one ginger and masala tea. That's easily fixed. I was not able to come up with three variants for the black and the herbal. So we had to check everywhere to what is selling, what is not selling, all of that. And then we figured out lemon black tea and ginger lemon black tea. There was one open spot. We had to figure out what to do. That's when we heard about a variety called Sulaimani tea in Kerala, which is kind of a black tea with spices, right? They used to drink it after a good biryani to for digestion. So we thought we tried and tested, and it came out really well. It's a bestseller as well. So we launched it. Herbal tea was easy to select. Three varieties I have not tasted at all. Green teas, hibiscus, and tulsi we launched. So that's how we started. But now we've added few more. We added elaichi about 2 years back. We added zafrani about a year back. Those are our best sellers as well. Those are based on customers' request. We we've ran it for about almost about 5.5 years without elaichi. Elaichi is almost a bestseller for everybody, so we added them. Apart from that, there are other drinks as well. There are mojito, there are shakes, there are iced teas. They're not the best sellers, but they are for customers who come as a group. They don't drink tea or coffee. They want a different variety, so they order that instead of standing idle. They order this and drinks. So we have that for those customers as well.
Other than tea now, or have you started selling coffee also? Or
Yeah, no, we have coffee now. Initially, when we started in 2016, we consciously avoided coffee. A lot of customers walk in and say, "You don't have coffee." I said, "We don't have coffee." We wanted to be known for only tea, so we consciously decided we'll not sell coffee at all. About 3 years, we did that, and then we slowly launched coffee as well. We have about 5 varieties of coffee now. Coffee sells about we still sell more tea, 75% tea and 25% coffee. But coffee is also a good seller now.
also noodles and other things.
So, yeah, so like I said, we have to keep the burden on the kitchen very light, right? I mean, we cannot have a full-fledged kitchen in a tea shop. Our major product is tea, and I don't want to be cooking and more items in the kitchen and make it messy. We cannot use oil. We cannot use gas. We don't want to use gas. Meaning we want to keep it very simple. So we added what we thought what we could do. We could only add Maggies. We have different varieties of Maggie, pohas, sandwiches, all short eats we've added. So from early on, people used to come in for tea. Now people come in for tea and a quick snack as well. You've expanded our outlet size. We used to have about 200, 300 square foot for our outlet earlier. Now we are looking at 700, 800 square foot sized outlet so people can sit and eat whatever snack they order. So yeah,
So, from your sales point of view, which is giving you more revenue, tea or the snacks?
we sell about 65% beverages and 35% food. The idea is to take it up to 50% food and 50% beverages. Yeah.
So, your first, you would have got a lot of customers. How was the feel? The first, your outlet, your own customers, your own brand. How many
First,
days it took for people to walk in your first?
the customers started walking in from day one, but the business was very low initially. I mean, people would not understand that it is a tea shop. Me and Balaji we've designed the outlet in such a way that it is pure white everywhere. We know that white we cannot sustain white for a long time, but we consciously did white. We wanted to stand out, right? Everybody would ask, "Why did you do white?" Right? It's a complete white outlet with a green signage. That only then it can stand out in the crowd, right? So we did that. But it was very difficult to maintain the outlet as well with the white color in a tea shop. There are a lot of stain, a lot of spillages and all of that. But we did that. We gave uniform for all the staff, green color t-shirts. There is a computer for billing and there is a menu board on the back. It was very different for Chennai at that point, right? Meaning those kind of outlets are there, but for a tea shop, that kind of an ambience and a setup, nobody expected. everybody would walk past the outlet, stop and look at the outlet, look at the name board, look inside, and then they'll walk off. They wouldn't figure out what this shop is, right? You have to slightly walk in to even see the menu. And again, the name is confusing. Chai King, they wouldn't know, half of them wouldn't know what Chai Kings is. So all of that was confusing for the customers initially. So me and Balaji would stand outside. We'll have a tea in our hands. We'll slowly drink it from 5 o'clock. People would walk in and see us. Enna kada? In Tamil they'll ask, what shop is this? We'll tell them tea. Tea kadaya? Yes, tea shop. Na? Then they'll walk in and order. Slowly it started. Then we figured out we have to keep a standee with a tea cup. So we did a standee with one, keep it outside, step in for chai, right? And then we kept a big teacup, the glass teacup with the tea. So then slowly people started understanding that is a tea shop walking in. But all of this is very little improvement in business. In terms of, if I can give you a number, the first month of November 2016, I think we did about 40,000 rupees in sales for the entire month, which is nothing at all. We cannot even pay the rent. Yeah. So that was from there on, it slowly improved. From 40,000, it did not go to, it went to about 75,000 or 80,000 next month, and then about a lakh, and then 120. The first 1 year, the improvement was there. Word of mouth was spreading. Whoever had it would give amazing feedback. That was very heartening for us. So that was what kept us going. I mean, if the feedback was bad, I don't know, maybe you would have shut, or maybe you would have tried something else or different. But the feedback was amazing. Everybody liked the chai. So that kept us going. So we knew that the business is also improving, but it is very slow. We didn't have the budget to market it big. And we were also only in 4 outlets: Kilpauk, Mount Road, Anna Nagar, and T Nagar.
Oh, first year itself?
First year, 4 outlets. We decided that we'll do 4 outlets. We had put in all our savings there. We decided we'll do 4 outlets, make or break it, we'll do 4 outlets. But we didn't have any budget to market it big. So all the outlets are in very prominent places. The signages are very good. People can see it. So we were of the hope that it will pick up. It will take time, but it will pick up. In the meantime, we'll take care of the service. We'll take care of the product, the quality, and all of that. So the feedback was very, very good. Customers were very appreciative of the product that they're getting, plus the pricing. All of that, they were liking it. So it kept us going for some time. The first customer we still had, we came and had, and he gave amazing feedback. We're still in touch with that customer. Prior to that, we opened on October 28th. That was not open for customers, just a small family gathering. My family, Balaji's family, and then for a few friends that visited. We did tea and we gave everybody tea and all of that, and then we went home. Balaji also went home, and we went and asked my father. He said the tea was very bad, very disheartening for me. And he said the tea was very utterly bad. I don't know how you guys will survive. I called Balaji. My father is saying the tea is bad. He said, my father is also saying the same. I was like, what happened? Then we went the next morning and asked us what happened. He said, we completely messed up on the SOP. We were we were tense, looking at the crowd. I mean, the entire family. My family was about 12 people. Balaji's family was about 15 people. And then a few friends. It's like we were tense. We messed up the SOP, but we will make sure everything is right from today. From there on, really well. The first customer who walked in, he gave feedback. He said, the tea is amazing. He said he's about 58, 59-year-old professor from a college. He said, I've never had such tea in my life. That was enough for us to get us going.
So you told they missed SOP. What is that SOP?
So basically, even when we started, we were very clear, right? We cannot have a tea master for the shop, right? It is not. We cannot depend on one individual to do take care of the product quality. Similar, we learned it from Subway. Everything is by the standard operating procedure. You have to take a bread. You have to thaw it for a certain number of minutes in the oven for a certain number of seconds. 1 cheese, 3 olives. There's everything is counted. 1 scoop, one press of that nozzle. So everything is standardized, right? So we decided that even tea we'll prepare it that way. So we've kept a SOP like 1 packet of powder, this much milk, this much sugar, this much time it has to boil in the stove. Then you have to add we prepared everything. Looking at the crowd, they kind of messed up the entire thing. For example, if you have to add one tea powder packet, they might have added two tea powder packet, or for 2 liters, they might have, instead of two, they might have added one. So all of that messed up the quality. They got confused. The first day being the first day. From there on, we've always maintained that SOP. We have not changed it in the last 8 years. Kept it there. That is why the quality is also the same as it is.
So from 4 outlets, now today I think 55 outlets something. How? When it started growing?
Okay, so we for the first year, if you look at the calendar year, say I think the first 3 years were very slow. We did 3 outlets each in the first 3 years. Also, that we see there is a very capital intensive business. We need at least about 20 lakhs to put up one outlet, 18 to 20 lakhs for an outlet. We didn't have that kind of money to add outlets, but the business was growing. 5, 6 outlets we did, and Swiggy, Zomato, Uber, all of them came into the picture, and from there on, it went on really well. It boomed from there. It was easy for customers to order a flask for 100 rupees sitting at their home. And plus, Swiggy, Zomato, all of them are giving huge discounts on their platform to attract customers. So many of them would get a flask for about 75, 80 rupees sitting at their home, which is 5 teas, right? Even if you walk into a store, each tea is 20 bucks. But you sit at your home, you get it delivered for 80 rupees. It was a steal for them, right? Business boomed from there on. We were also very new. We were thinking that we should capitalize on the boom that is right now. We wanted to do more outlets. We started looking for investments, and by 2018, June 2018, we met Chennai Angels, who were very interested in the business. They are also from Chennai. They have seen the brand. They're hearing feedback. They've tasted the product. So they also came forward and invested. From there on, it went up very, really fast. From at the end of third year, we were about 9 outlets or something. In 2 years' time, we raised 2 rounds with Chennai Angel, 2 crores and 7.5 crores we raised with them. From 9 outlets, we went up to about 45 outlets in about 20 to 4 months' time till COVID came here. From COVID, it has been a very slow progress from there on, but there has been improvement on the way the business is done, the quality, the background processes, profitability, all of that is improved. But in terms of growth for the business, it has not been like pre-COVID. From COVID, it is kind of stagnant for some time.
This word COVID, uh,
It's a
and
nightmare.
except for the pharmaceutical companies, see all others for the businessmen. Yes, it was a nightmare. How you manage? What were, because lockdown is just one word, lockdown, but you have to manage your staff. You have to pay. How did you come across or successfully come out of those lockdowns?
See, we were in Coimbatore on I think March 20th or something. We opened 4 outlets together. We drove down from Chennai. The next day, the lockdown was announced. So it
Oh,
was
the day before the lockdown, you opened.
we opened 4 outlets and we came to Chennai, drove down to Chennai, and I think a couple of days from there, lockdown was announced. So it was a very rude shock for us, right? Meaning to completely close outlet, all the outlets, meaning from the business, meaning came crashing down, right? And it was not, meaning we were not aware of what the future holds, when it will open, all of that. Between me and Balaji, I was very optimistic that the lockdown and all will go, meaning we'll go back to normalcy in a month or max 2 months. That was my idea. I didn't have any idea about how a pandemic epidemic works, right? So I was thinking that we'll all be back to normal by May, June. But soon we figured out it is not going to be June or July, right? And there are a lot of people giving a lot of feedbacks about what will happen in the future and all that. So we decided we'll not get into this Zoom, Clubhouse, and all of that. We'll take one day at a time. We'll ensure the shop is open wherever it is allowed to open. We'll ensure the service is done properly, hygienically. We'll ensure the staffs are not affected. Right? Everybody follows the procedure and all of that. Took one day at a time, and slowly we came out. But the business was doing real wherever we opened, irrespective of COVID, irrespective of the scare of the spread of the disease. People didn't mind walking into a checking, right? They were very confident that we are providing good quality, hygienic tea. They were not scared to walk in and have tea even during the peak of the COVID. very small business, but whoever was outside, whoever sees and chai kings open, they walked in. So that kind of gave us the confidence that once things go back to normal, people would not hesitate walking into chai king and sip on our glass. I mean, it's a reusable glass. So we thought people might not prefer it, but that gave us the confidence that people will definitely come back and like to have tea in that glass. So all of that kept us going. In terms of financially, we were badly hit like any other. F&B was the hit the most, and our situation, we were not considered a restaurant by the police and the corporation. They were all like, "Tea kada dane, close it." Meaning for certain period, there was a ban that the tea shops have to be closed because that was the gathering point for the crowd. Right? People, government didn't want people to gather there. The restaurants were open. Restaurants are allowed to open, but the tea shops were not for some time. The policeman would come and say, "You are a tea shop, close it. Selling tea only, right? You close it." So that was difficult for some time. But we came across all of that. Me and Balaji were on the roads entirely. We got affected by COVID in all three, all three waves. We got all three. Luckily, nothing happened for us. We didn't get even hospitalized, but somehow came out. We were on the roads. That gave the confidence for the staff as well to come to the store, interact with the customers and all of that. Yeah.
So once you were talking about COVID lockdowns and all, I always see in Anna Nagar that outlet, your Chai Kings, always it is open, whether it is COVID lockdown, means once the government started allowing, because most of the tea shops were closed. Again, in recent Chennai flood, I have the habit of coming to our academy every day. So I was roaming around, finally found your Chai Kings open. So is it a conscious policy that you'll never close?
It's a conscious policy to always keep it open. It is not. I think somehow I don't know where we got it. It is always very strongly ingrained in our minds that if you are in retail, if you're open for customers, you should not give meaning. You should not give any chance for the customer to have any doubt that if Chai Kings be open, right? You have to be at a point where the customers will think that Chai Kings will be open. Right? Chai Kings will always be open, and that kind of a mindset is what we want to set for our customers. There are very hardcore customers who would walk in every day. Those kind of customers would never have a doubt that if we are open or closed. Right? If it is allowed, if it is possible, we'll open. During COVID, like I said, meaning there are partly one, we have to open only then we need revenue to keep the business running. There are employees, we need to pay salaries and all of that. Plus, there are genuine customers looking for tea during COVID. All the hospitals, all the policemen on the road, they were kind of dying for tea. So there are very visible customers we could see in front of us during COVID. So we wanted to open for that. Earn revenue also to be an open, whatever was available, people were having. Maggies and all selling like hotcakes during those time, right? So during floods, again, similar, same thing. We wanted to open if it is possible to open, right? Whether customer walk in, whether they not is a different question. We want it to be open if it is safe for the employees to be there and if it is viable to keep it open. There was an outlet which is kind of it felt like an island when I looked at the picture, but we did sales there as well. There are a lot of customers walked in and said they were not able to get milk for them and they found it. Chagging was available and they had tea and took milk for their kids and all of that. So also it's a policy that we'll always try to open when it is possible.
So customers are your focus, I can understand. How about employees? So anything you have tried, something different?
See, see ours is a very what do you call it? It's a very slim margin product, right? I'm not selling diamonds. I'm selling tea. So everything has to be very. We have to be very frugal in whatever we do. Uh, so we cannot. So whatever we are doing at this point, we make sure it is not exorbitantly. We cannot spend exorbitantly on certain things, but we make it right for the employees. For our employees, like we have about 400 employees right now. We are right now we have a mix of employees. We have staff from Northeast who manage most of our kitchens. And there are local staff from Tamil speaking staff who manage the front office, deliveries, and all of that. In terms of our policy, salary policy, we make sure we pay on time. We are not a very good pay master in terms of the amount, but we pay what is right. We follow policy. There is overtime, there is extra day payment, there is night shift allowance. All of that is rightly set, and we follow that irrespective of whether the company does, if whether there is floods or whether there is COVID. We set a policy and we follow that. So there is no doubt on the employee's mind that will I get salary. If your bank account is given to the company on the date, you will get the salary come what may, right? Whether if it's a bank holiday, you will get it on the previous day. So all of that is made sure. So there is no doubt on the employee side. In terms of benefits, it's all actually the same like any other company. We've given staff quarters for all the employees. Right? So that is one thing we've done. We don't give them food because its food habits are different. So we give them a staff quarter. The staff quarter meaning there is a difference in the staff quarter that we look for. Right? It's a proper 2 bedroom flat that we take and give. Right. So they're very comfortable. We make sure they're very comfortable. We don't get a substandard place for them to stay. All of that is a very visible difference that they can see. People who have worked in other company anywhere in Chennai, and if they're coming into Chikings and if they see the staff room, that that meaning they're already sold. They'll join. So that's the kind of thing that we do. That is all we do. But okay, in terms of employees, we initially started having we had a segregation, like all the entire kitchen would be handled by the northeast staff because they know they've grown with tea, right? So they can easily figure out whether a tea powder is good, bad, the tea smell, all of that they can figure out. So we kind of our entire kitchen staff is mostly northeast, and the front office is all local staff. But we've never had women in our outlets initially. We were always of the opinion that they'll not be able to handle the tea pan. That the pan is about 5 liter tea pan. It is very difficult to hold it and pour it inside the. You have to lift it and pour it inside the tea canters. We always thought it is very difficult for them, but after a lot of persuasion, we hired few women employees, but to our shock, they did it really well, better than most of the male staff that we had because they've been doing it in their homes, right? It just came easy and naturally for them. Then we started hiring a lot of women staff. A lot of women started both in kitchen as well as in the front office. After some time, we wanted to hire a lot of women, right? We also wanted to tell them that we value them as a employee. We started doing women only outlets for some time. We still have women only outlets. Entire from the manager to the kitchen is completely manned by women. That gave a lot of confidence for them. They took pride in owning the store. We got a lot of inquiries for new employees. I mean, a lot of people came and asked us if there is any vacancy from local people. We hired a lot of them. And for our 50th outlet in ECR, we want to do something different. We thought, everybody said that you call him for opening, you call him for inauguration. We said, all that is not a style. We'll do subtle opening, but we'll hire some specially able staff for that. Like KFC has done it. KFC, the model is different, right? Meaning you don't get, see, for us, we get about 300, 400 walk-ins a day. KFC volume revenue might be slight different, very high, but the number of people walking in will not be 300, 400. Less number of people, more amount of revenue, right? There it is easy to manage. So we thought we'll hire only women, specially able staff outlet alone, and we started doing it. We wanted to do it in the 50th outlet. We did initially one outlet with four kitchen staff and one staff who can speak with the customer and all of that. About a month down the line, we figured out they are very easy to handle. They are very sincere. They are very customer focused. They're very happy at work. They are very coordinated, and they keep everything very clean and tidy. We fell in love with them. We have three outlets now with being managed by specially able staff. One in Besanagar, the ECR, and the one in A.R. Rahman's Music College. All three outlets are manned by them. Very happy. It's a Many a time that outlet gets viral. Any YouTuber who goes there suddenly gets shocked, and then he'll do a video and do it. Every now and then that video comes and becomes viral. Very happy with the staff as well. A lot of customers are very happy with staff. In spite of not being able to communicate with them, they're very happy with the service that they provide. They always smile. They always welcome the customer. We have a small tab kind of slate in the outlet where the customer can write and show, and they can read and they'll respond there. All my majority of my area managers have learned the sign language. It's very easy as well, and when you communicate with them in the sign language, they become happy as well. It's like you're giving some value to them, right? All of that keeps going.
Now you have so many employees. How you are able to manage them?
Okay. Manage. I think.
Because see, anywhere the chai kicks, the quality should be the same. And so many employees. So what is your strength there? How you are able to manage this many outlets? Because you and your partner, Mr. Balaji, you cannot keep going every day to every outlet.
I think there are two parts to it. One, see, on the employee management, it's very simple, right? Meaning you treat them well, they stay with you, obviously. So the entire company culture is set in that way, right? Everybody is important. Basic rules. I mean, we're not having any fancy HR policy. It's all basic rules. Everybody is same. Everybody is important. Anybody can talk to anybody. There is a hierarchy, obviously, but it's not that a team making, we call them brewmasters. It's not that a brewmaster cannot walk into my room and talk to me, right? So that kind of restriction is never there. Obviously, everybody gets scared if a brewmaster is coming and talking to me. He might be complaining about one of the managers or the area manager. That scare is there, but it doesn't stop anybody from walking into my room and talking to me and complaining or giving me a suggestion. That kind of open culture is there. It is set over a period of time. It is not, when we are 8-year-old company, it has been set over a long time. So that kind of takes care of it. Till date, we've never had a consultant giving us staff. We've hired only through internal references. That speaks volume about the kind of culture that we have, right? We give referral referral bonus and all of that, but in spite of all of that, we've hired only through references. Speaks a lot about the kind of culture and the space that we have created for them. That is one part of it. And anyway, they're happy, they stay with you. Ours attrition is the lowest in the industry, I would call. Many of them would not, meaning some would not like it. Some who would have worked in a restaurant might not like this QSR kind of a setup, right? Some would, they'll be like, in a restaurant, they will come in the morning around 10, 11, prepare lunch, eat lunch, go back. Then they come back at around 6, 7 o'clock, prepare dinner. They'll completely work till about 12 and go. Some people would like it. Here, we have a shift system. It's a 9-hour shift schedule with breaks, 30 minutes break, 15 minute and another 15-minute break. So this kind of structures might not set for a few people. So those people might not stay. But once all of that is set, we have people who are working with us for a long time. Our first employee is still with us. So that the kind of culture we have. So that part is done. On the quality, I think it's a completely different. Employees are definitely a part of it, but more than that, I think the product quality that we use, that is one, and the product procedures that we follow. All of that is, I think those are most important for maintaining the quality across. We have about 55 outlets now. The masala tea or the ginger tea you have in one outlet will always be the same in the other outlet. There is a human in touch. There could be a slight difference, obviously, because there is a human involved there. But on top of that, if you follow the right procedure and if the raw material that we use are right, there is very little chance that the end product will be bad or subpar quality. We've never changed our process that we set in 2016. Once you've set it and once it crosses a lot of trial and then once it is approved, once the customers have liked it, we never go back and change it. Meaning it is always easy to go and tweak it and see some profits there, right? We don't do that. And similarly on the raw materials as well, there are always vendors knocking your doors, giving you a different product for a much lesser price. We don't take that route. Once you go down that route, we always believe that it will impact your end product quality. So employees, continuously training them, retraining them, that, refresher trainings and all of that. Then the product quality and then processes. I think those are key for maintaining the quality that we have.
So, what are your future plans, sir? How somewhere you'll have no at maybe 5 years down, 10 years down, somewhere. What are your
We don't have a time-based goal. When we started 2016, 2018, 2 years after 2 years, about we were having about 5 6 outlets. We went and met Chennai Angels for the pitch. I was pitching to them that this is the business, this is the path, this is the future, and all of that. They asked me, "Where do you see yourself 5 years down the line?" I told them, in 5 years, I'll have 100 outlets. But they would have figured out that I am not confident saying that, because even I was not confident. Running 6 outlets and to imagine running 100 outlet was scary for us. We thought that is not possible. But I have to tell them something, right? So I told them 5 years and 100 years. But they easily figured out that this guy is not confident. And to be frank, I was not confident running 100 outlets at that point. But after doing it for about 7 8 years now, having processes, people, and all of that, 100 is not, 100 is easy. 500 is easy. 1,000 is possible, right? So numbers doesn't matter as long as you follow what you're following right now. You follow the same process for whether it is 100 outlets or 500 outlets or 1,000 outlets. So in terms of number of outlets, we don't have a goal there. What we are very confident about is on the product. This is a pan-India product. Tea, everybody likes it. Ginger tea is the bestseller here. Ginger tea is bestseller in Bangalore, in Delhi, in Bombay, in Calcutta as well. It's meaning for other everybody on the Zomato Swiggy, based on Zomato Swiggy data. So the tea, we can take this tea anywhere. We've set the product, we've set the brand, we set the process, everything. It's just about getting the right partner to for funding and take it across. We are planning to take it across to Hyderabad, Bangalore, Delhi, and Mumbai and Calcutta in the next 2 3 years. We should be 100 outlets minimum by end of next year. We are talking to a few investors who are interested. COVID has put a break on our expansion, and the entire VC community is kind of skeptical about the F&B industry itself. Not many have raised in the last 2 3 years, but the market is opening up. People are seeing value in what we are creating. We got listed by Inc. 42 as one of the 60 promising startups in the whole of India. I think this is the first pan-India recognition that we have got in the last 8 years. So things are looking good. When we find the right partner, we should be able to take it across India. Yeah.
now this entrepreneurial itch? My last question. Entrepreneurial itch comes at different points in our life. Now, many youngsters want to start up. That is, startup is something is a buzzword amongst youngsters. Also, you go wherever, IT, employee, everywhere, people want to do something on their own. Okay. Now, however, whoever has started, not all are successful. According to you, how someone can identify? Because these are the qualities which are required, and like a checklist. This I have. There are chances of me to be a successful entrepreneur. Means or an advice for the youngsters or whoever wants to start up something on their own.
It is very difficult
Why
to.
I'm asking you this question is you're a market leader in Chennai. So you have undergone, this is not your first year. Okay, so many years. You have seen COVID also and still expanding. So you are the right person, I thought.
It is very difficult to put a checklist to become successful, right? Meaning, if there are a lot of points, and a lot of points work for a lot of people and doesn't work for a lot of people. So it is not easy to put up a checklist and check them. But there are basic qualities that we need to have to become successful, right? If I can talk about business and the F&B industry in particular, one, having the right team, whether you do it alone or you have a right co-founder. I don't know how myself and Balaji clicked, but we clicked, right? Our skills are complementing. What I'm good at and what he is good at are completely different, and it is helping us. I don't think anybody has got that kind of a compatible skill set, right? So we can easily split work between us and get it done perfectly. So getting the founding team, I think that is very right. People partner with anybody they can think of, right? I've seen a lot of people team up. They might not be friends. They might have met at a party. They become partners, and some long-standing friends also become partners. So you have to choose the right partner and
Otherwise,
set
disputes will come.
disputes, and set boundaries on what you do and what you should not do, skill sets and all of that. It is not that you have to put up a agreement kind of a thing and split, but you have to be clear in your mind on why you guys are coming together or why you're doing it alone and get that done. Second, on the product or the business, we've always thought you cannot change customers' behavior, right? Can change, meaning like Swiggy, how they made us order from home, from instead of walking into an outlet, they made us order from home and deliver it, get the delivery. You can change customer behavior, but all of that will take a lot of time, a lot of investment, and also depends on the product. So you have to go and do something which is, you can do novel ideas as well, but easier thing is to take up a very simple idea or a simple thing and make it better for people, make it better for the customer. In our example, what we do is take tea and market it to the people in a better way, something like that. Make it easier. Don't take a very difficult thing and try to better that, and no, don't complicate it. You take a simple or a mass product and make it better for people, right? And you excel on execution. Instead of bringing up a novel idea and faltering on execution, bring up a simple idea or a mass product and make it better for people and do really well on execution. That is what will help you, not the idea. The idea is definitely important, but the most important thing is execution. So get the right team, your founding team, and then execute it really well. The third point would be to build your team. So there were times when me and Balaji used to deliver stock in our cars. Now we don't do that. We don't even check if the stock is going, because we know the stock is going on time. There is a process to raise requests for stock, and there is a team that handles picks, packs, delivers. All of that is seamlessly going. So you'll have to build your team at the right time. I cannot keep doing what I was doing 8 years back. I'll have to do my role has to be not different. What I do, the time that I spend should be valuable according to the size of the company. When I was about 3-4 outlets, I can deliver stock. When I'm a 55 outlet, there are more pressing issues to look at and pressing items to improve upon. So build your team at the right level. It is easy to hire a GM finance or a VP finance when you're only about 10-member team, right? You don't require that. Maybe some business, but you check that and hire. It is easy and fancy to have people working for you, very high quality people working for you, but build it at the right time. Your team is important, but how big your team is and how good they are is very important, but you need them at the right time. You don't need them early. You can't take them late. You need them at the right time, and you are the only judge for that. So do that. Finally, I would say is finan I call it financial ethics. Probably you have to be very, 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 very ethical on your financial dealings, be it your government dealings like the GSTs, income tax, or the TDS, or the way you handle cash, right? How you put cash into the company or how you take cash out of the company, all of that has to be very, very ethical. There should not be anything hanky-panky there. Right? I think that sets the tone for the entire company. It's not your company and you do whatever you like. That sets the tone for the entire company. Everybody gets to see that. The entire finance team gets to see that, and everything is in line. I think this is what I would say. Get your founding team right, make your execution better, grow your teams, and be ethical on what you're doing.
Thank you so much, sir, for your time. And I, in fact, learned a lot. Okay, I learned a lot. Okay, these are the things which we can also implement. So I know you're a very busy person. Despite that, you came. So So I definitely know so many are going to be benefited out of this interview. So thank you so much, sir.
My pleasure, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Friends, so today we had a great discussion or learning from him, the founder of Chai Kings. And chai is our national drink. So we wish him that he become pan India very soon. And chai is our national drink, and unity in diversity is our strength. That is the strength of our country. So, yes, that is there in Chai Kings. By the name itself, you understand the partners, Jahabar Sadique and Balaji Sadagopan. So, it's a pleasure to have and know about this organization. And friends, we'll keep meeting in the next podcast. Thank you so much.